Okay, friends and fellow drivers, here we are, where we're supposed to be. We're here about a day and a half early. Can you believe that? Yep, we are. That's how we do this thing, right? We're not going to be late. We're not trying to be late. That's the last thing we're trying to do, is be late with the load.
Motor 828 here, your
not,
transcontinental logistics relocation expert at your service one more time. You know, I think it's hilarious and funny and everything else, right? When you see people who hate their job. People who hate their jobs. Okay, watch this. I have disliked certain things that I used to have to do in my life. Great, absolutely, positively. I get it. I know what it feels like. But I'm no longer controlled by that. It's all up here anyway. Find something that you want to do, that you would be willing to do if you got paid that much. $0. If you got paid $0 to do this thing, then that means you would be willing to do it for free, which also then means that, is it actually work and laborious and horrible for you to do? No, it's not, right? So you're in a good mood. You're in a great mood, as a matter of fact. So when I walk into a shipper, so let's just take this from, you saw me where I picked up the load, right? So there I was picking up the load. There are some other things that you saw along the way. And then you saw that I'm here a day and a half early. So I went in when I got here. I really was dragging my feet to get here, okay? From California to Wisconsin. But I dragged my feet yesterday so I wouldn't get here too early, you know? And in the process of doing that, it was so crazy what happened once I got here. I go inside and I say to the guy, hey, how you doing? I just thought I'd come in and check. Here's my papers. And to see maybe if you're ready for the load, because I'm early. Just like, well, let's see. But he didn't do what I just did. He didn't go, oh, okay, let's see. He didn't do that. It was like, oh my God, you're early. Ah! You know, he was like, it was like it was a problem, right? I walked in the way I walked in. I walked in like this. I said, hey, how you doing? Listen, I said, hey, how you doing? I've got my paperwork here, and I wanted to find out what the possibility is of me getting unloaded early, because I am early. Well, when was your appointment set for? And I said, 8 o'clock. He says, tonight? I said, no, tomorrow morning. And it was like 2 in the afternoon, right? So he says, but he was already like jammed up, right, with whatever's going on in his world in the warehouse, in the cold storage. So I didn't have anything to do with that. His world being all jacked up. I didn't do it, right? So I just asked a question with this logistics relocation expert smile on my face, right? And he was already jammed up, I guess, because I was smiling. He was like, why are you smiling? Dude, he's all right. So, as one thing leads to another, as they often do, I found out from him that basically he got off of work at 5 p.m. and he wanted me to check with the evening shift people because he didn't want anything to do between 2 and 5. It's his world. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But I wanted to find out, so I didn't assume that. I asked him, like point blank, I said, oh, okay, because he's the one that leaked when he gets off. I didn't ask him what time he gets off of work. Okay, he's the one that said it. And as I'm standing there silent, just oozing a pleasant vibe, right? You know, I'm not demanding, I'm not doing anything, I'm not frowning, I'm not being weird and flicking boogers out of my nose. You know, I'm not doing, you know, what are you talking about, right? I'm not telling him stories about my dog or something like that, you know, showing him pictures or what. I'm just standing there just waiting for him to find out what he has to say. And he then said, well, I've got another truck coming in and I don't want to have to start doing you on my shift, because if something goes wrong, then I'm going to be stuck with you on my shift, and that's going to mess up the next shift and what they're going to be trying to do. So he said, I get off at 5. I said, okay, all right. So what you're saying then is you want me to check after 5 o'clock and see how that works, you know, if they want me or what they want to do with the load. Yeah, that's what I would like that. I said, okay, no problem. Hey, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Grabbed my papers, came back out. Okay, 5:15. I walked out that window that's back there and went that way and walked inside. And a guy that was there turned around, looked, and I said, hey, how you doing? While he was looking at me, I said, hey, how you doing? He didn't say a word. He turned back around. Like, oh, okay, so I'm not important to him, you know. Which is the silliest attitude for a receiver to have. Don't you think? Isn't it ironic? It's silly, huh? Well, if you stay on top of that and realize that they're the ones that are being silly, why are they upset? Because they have work to do. Oh, I know, because they like the paycheck that they're getting maybe, but if they could get that same money without doing any work, that would be really cool, right? I mean, these are some of the people you run into in all walks of life. It's not just here with our work that we're doing and the receiving and the shipping and all of that. It's just bizarre when people do the things that make no sense and they put effort into it as if it matters what they're doing. I don't mean the work that they're doing, but the attitude that they're putting on to something, you know. So he's acting as if I'm putting him out just because I walk in, I had on a baseball cap, and you know, so he's like, oh, well, he's here, I work here in cold storage, he's walking through my door. Is he wearing a suit and tie, or is he a truck driver? Plain and simple. So when he didn't respond to me after I said, hey, good evening, how are you? And he didn't say anything, he just turned back around. I was like, ooh, he didn't grunt, he didn't fart, he didn't belch, he didn't do nothing. He just said whoop and just turned right back around. I was like, oh, okay, right? But he never saw that on my face, right? Straight poker face, right? So I said, oh, okay. So I didn't say anything, actually. I said, hey, how you doing? He turns around. So since he couldn't see my face, he couldn't see what I was doing. And he also couldn't see me in his peripheral vision, because unless he has eyes in the back of his head, he couldn't see me. So what made it really cool was that I was just standing there. I didn't say another word. And he waited for me to say something. He was really taking his time. Like when I walked in, he was typing away, right? After my little greeting, next thing you know, he's typing like this. None of this that he was doing. I thought it was the best thing in the world because it was so obvious and so hilarious. So then he finally comes up to the window and he says, are you delivering or are you picking up? I said, I have a delivery. And then he puts his hand out. So I just handed him the paperwork. I didn't say a word since he wasn't saying a word, right? You know, this is his world. It's not my world. It's also his problems, not my problems, right? See, that's the part that's cool. This is why you always have to maintain that positive mental attitude, right? And that other thing I told you about, SNIOP, subject to negative influences of other people, right? You don't need to be victim to that. Remain secure in who you are. Understand that you do have the product that keeps them employed. Keep that in mind. Any attitude that they throw towards you, what difference does it make to you? Now, granted, they could catch you on a bad day at the right moment. They could catch you at the wrong moment on a good day. I mean, you know, any way you look at it, you can get caught off guard, granted, but you can be in charge, and you should be in charge. You should absolutely positively be in charge of your attitude, okay? Because your attitude makes the difference. I always had to represent myself properly as an owner-operator, always. So I carried that into other places when I was working as a trainer with other major trucking companies and I was working as a mentor with them and all of that. I was the best representative that they ever had. Well, that's my opinion anyway, okay? Because I am the face of that company when the receiver sees me, when the shipper sees me. I represent that company. And sometimes your reputation precedes you, okay? In some of these instances, all right? So you want to keep that in mind, and also remember that there are some people who absolutely hate their jobs and they're stuck at coming to the same place, using the same route that they come every day, showing up in the same office with the office chairs in the same position that they were the last time they were at work. So yeah, oftentimes I'm very happy. Oftentimes I'm just in this mood that I'm in. And the reason why I am, yeah, there are times when I'm not like this, and you've seen me not this way. Yes, you have, right? You've seen me not all, hey, you've seen that. Because I'm a human being. But at the same time, I'm just not a negative person, okay? And that matters. I don't need negativity in my life because negative things, bad things, can always absolutely positively find me. They're all around me. And we don't need that. I don't need that in my life. You don't need that in your life. And I don't try to bring it into other people's lives, you know? Whatever situation I've had, and if it's a bad situation that I was just in, I'll remove myself from the public before I dump on the public. You follow what I'm saying? I'll step aside and not deal with people until this is straight again. You got me? You see what I'm saying? So this is all it takes, and I'm having a blast. So I'm waiting for a phone call. Oh yeah, let me just finish the one last thing about that conversation I was having with the guy, if you want to call it a conversation. He said, okay, what's your number? I said, oh. And I gave my phone number, blah, 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 blah. And then he says, and then that was it. Like he turned around again. I'm supposed to read into all of this stuff that you're doing, that you're saying to me right now. Like, yeah, so all of a sudden I'm supposed to just go, okay, well, I understand mental telepathy. You just communicated to me in some kind of strange way, right? So what I chose to do was press the point. Because you are going to communicate with me. I'm not going to let you not communicate with me. You wouldn't do this if I was your boss. You wouldn't treat your boss that way. So why do you think you can treat me that way? It's not going to happen. So he says, what's your phone number? Gave my phone number. He turned away and I said, okay, well, hey, excuse me, just a second. One thing. So I guess what you're going to do is call me. And he goes, yeah. I said, okay. Tell me, about how long do you think it'll be? I'm not rushing you. Please understand that. I just want to figure out what it is that I'll have time to do, because there are several things that I can do as you are fitting me in, working me in. Just like that. Now, that puts him in a place where he either has to continue to be a butt wipe or decide to show some level of civility. And now his whole attitude is going to be on display. So I waited for an answer, because the next person that speaks after that loses. So I just waited. And I was looking at him and and that's what he did. So I let him off the hook a little bit and I said, so what are you thinking? Like a few hours or longer than that? Or so I could figure out if I should fix myself some dinner, try to make me human to this guy, right? Because he refuses to think of me that way. It's not beyond you guys to do this. It really isn't. You're capable of doing it if you realize that you're the one that's in charge of you. They are not in charge of you. You're in charge of you. All you're trying to do is deliver your load, which is why they are at work, to receive your load. Does that require a bad attitude? Elevate your thinking and let them be whoever it is they are, because it has nothing to do with who you are. All right. So keep that in mind. He gave me my answer, by the way, and he says, "Oh well, yeah, it could be." I said, "All right, well, that's fine." Hey, what? I don't know. I said something else like kind of positive. As I was walking away, I started walking away, I said, okay, hey, I appreciate your time. And thanks for working me in. That's what I said. Thanks for working me in, And I laughed. And I said, boy, oh boy, this is crazy. I need to share this with the family. So here you go, fam. I just shared it with you. So there you go, all right? So positive mental attitude and SNIOP, SNIOP, subject to the negative influence of other people. Don't be subject to the negative influence of other people, and retain your positive mental attitude at all times, okay? Yeah, and one last thing I forgot. I'm sorry, you guys, I forgot. I don't know why I'm doing that these days. Maybe it's because I'm not getting enough rest. Maybe that's what's going on. But here are the key factors to why I wanted to get unloaded now. I don't want to wait until tomorrow morning to get unloaded. I want to get unloaded tonight so that tomorrow morning I'm empty and I'm waiting for my people. I would rather be empty. Trailer cleaned out. I'm cleaned up. I can get some video editing done and things of that nature. So I'm trying to work my schedule, because this is my world that I'm in. That's their world that they're in, but this is my world that I'm in, right? So the idea is to not wait until tomorrow morning and then have the whole dog and pony show. Oh, let's do this, let's unload this, let's do. Man, skip all that, right? I'm here now. Do you want your product now, or do you want to wait? Sooner or later, that kind of stuff clicks with these people. There are some places that you go to, and that's how they operate. One less thing to do on my shift, one less thing to do on my shift. If I get it done now, I don't have to wait until later. So if he has nothing to do, he'll call me. If he doesn't call me, it is not the end of my world. Okay? So what? It's something that I wanted to have happen. If it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. I didn't tell him one way or the other. I didn't load my question when I gave it to him. And that's when he walked up and took the papers. It's fun, right? Drama. Yeah, whatever. So, but if I wait, no pain, no strain. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. I'm good one way or the other. You see how that works? I'm fine. So I'm good to go. All right, you guys. So for real this time, that's it. I'm going to say bye. I'm going to press that stop button right now.